All right, I think I'm going to get us started. Good morning. Welcome to the OVS VAP Training Center webinar about the Crime Victims Legal Network. I'm Blake Cush, the Training and Outreach Unit Chief at OVS. And our Director, Elizabeth Cronin, is also with us today, and she's going to offer some opening remarks shortly after I cover just a little webinar housekeeping. So today's webinar is a part of a series of webinars that we offer through the VAP Training Center, where for the last few years we've hosted multiple topics, different learning opportunities designed to help you tackle some of the unique challenges and pressing issues that you and your programs who you work for may be facing. And today's no different. We hope that you get the most out of this training opportunity. And should you want to go back or revisit what was covered, today's webinar is also being recorded, and we will publish that on our YouTube channel in the coming days. You can also access links to other resources, this training once it's published, all on our OVS VAP Training Center webpage, which I'll put a link to in the chat momentarily as well. And finally, as you exit today's webinar, you will be directed to an evaluation survey on the presentation. Please take a couple minutes to give us the feedback. Your feedback is incredibly valuable, and it helps all of us make improvements for any future training offering that we have. So it's greatly appreciated. With that said, I'd like to officially welcome Office of Victim Services Director Elizabeth Cronin.
Thanks so much, Blake. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a presentation on the Crime Victim Legal Network. You know, as a former special victims prosecutor, one of the things that I noticed in my practice was how many victims suffered civil legal consequences as a result of their victimization. And for most people in that situation, they were not in a position to have to navigate two legal systems. So they would be involved in the criminal justice system as a victim of crime, and then they had all of these civil legal consequences. And it was a glaring hole in our system of victim services as to how to provide these kinds of services in a way that meets individual crime victims' needs. And so in 2015, we gathered together this incredible brain trust of folks who worked with us to craft an application to the federal government to apply for a grant that would allow us to kind of explore how we wanted to do this in the state of New York. And we were really looking to pilot this outside of New York City, which has a lot of resources, and it's much more difficult for victims of crime in other areas of New York. And so we put together this incredible team from the Pro Bono Net, from Empire Justice, and from SUNY Albany to come up with a way to provide information and assistance to victims of crime for civil legal work that would be, you know, meeting them where they are, finding a way to offer a service that it gives them everything that they need at whatever time that they need, you know, not to overwhelm them with information. And so we worked together with this group. I won't go through the whole process because it was many years in the making, but we came up with this online tool, which is really just amazing and state of the art. But what we wanted to do, and we were talking a little bit about this earlier, is to make it sustainable, you know, because you can launch all kinds of interesting and innovative projects, but if you don't find a way to make it sustainable, then what's the point? So what we did was the Empire Justice with this project applied for a grant from us to use VOCA funds to continue the work that they were doing. And it's been incredibly successful, and it has evolved over time to meet victims' needs. And it is one of the projects that I am most proud of in the time that I have been here. So I'm happy that you're here with us, and I'm so happy to have our presenters. So thanks for being here. Ramla?
Thank you, Elizabeth. I really appreciate those kind words. Hello, everyone. I'm Ramla Parthasarathi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the project leader of the Crime Victims Legal Network and a managing attorney for Empire Justice Center. Crime Victims Legal Network is a partnership of organizations that connects victims of crime with civil legal information, resources, and assistance. And like Elizabeth said, we do that through our website, New York Crime Victims Legal Help. So think about it in terms of the network is the people, and but we do it through our website, New York Crime Victims Legal Help. As Elizabeth said, the founding members of the network and the website are OVS, Empire Justice Center, Pro Bono Net, and the Center for Human Services Research. But all OVS funded organizations are members of the network. So I really want you to know you have an invested interest in our work because it's your work as well. So Jackie, Tim, and Susan will be talking to you about key components of the website. What I wanted to do is briefly talk to you about the CVLN team at Empire Justice Center and let you know how we can help you. So we have two attorneys on our team, Laura Dwyer and Amy Bogardus, and their role is to provide supportive services to OVS funded attorneys across the state. They do this in several ways. So first of all, they hold monthly forums for OVS funded attorneys and paralegals. The first part of the forums usually involve a learning component. For example, last month we had Lindsay Song from the Sanctuary for Families do a presentation on cyber abuse crimes. And previously, I think it was in December of last year, we had Joan Gerhardt from the New York State Coalition Against Domestic Violence provide an update on new domestic violence legislation. So we always try to do some sort of learning component. And the second part of the forum is an open discussion. It provides an opportunity for us to discuss either local, regional, or statewide issues and concerns. Or it gives people a chance to bring up legal issues or legal matters that they're dealing with. And then you get to share that and get strategy input and other advice from your other attorneys and paralegals in the field. The CVLN attorneys also help by providing technical assistance. And by that, I mean case consultation, legal research, and strategy recommendations. With some of the technical assistance requests, Laura and Amy are able to respond quite quickly. It might be a question and they respond via email the same day. Some of the requests require days of research and are returned maybe in a memo format. And we've had attorneys literally cut and paste the research that Laura has done and drop it into their own motions or responses. And that research has helped attorneys win cases. So I'll make sure that you have Laura and Amy's email, put that in the chat box because they are a great resource for you. The CVLN team at Empire Justice Center also conduct what we call technical assistance webinars. If we see that an issue keeps coming up or that a request for assistance could actually help a lot of people, we decide to share that information in the form of a webinar. We do about 6 webinars a year, and most of them are for continuing legal education credits. So for example, we've done webinars on emergency risk orders of protection, or excuse me, I should call them emergency risk protection orders. We've done webinars on working with victims of sexual abuse in family court. And our next webinar that we're planning for June is on elder abuse remedies. While the forums are only for OVS funded attorneys and paralegals, anyone can attend our webinars: advocates, case managers, social workers, other legal staff. The other member of our team is Jackie Seguin, our program and marketing manager. So Jackie's the one who creates and sends out all our bi-monthly newsletters and our broadcast emails. She also adds events and job postings to the Advocate Gateway section of our website. And Jackie's also in charge of our social media. I will make sure that if you haven't done so already, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm going to drop the handle in the chat soon. And with that, let me turn this over to Jackie, who will be giving you a brief overview of New York Crime Victims Legal Help.
Okay, Jackie, I'll share my screen, right? And then you can, and you know, one of the things I don't think we addressed at the beginning is in terms of folks asking questions or entering comments in the chat, which is it the Q&A box for questions and then the chat for other? I'm not sure.
Tim, they are both open, so either one, and I'm happy to monitor too. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen, Jackie, and then you could direct me about how you want to navigate. One sec.
Absolutely. So I'll just start while Tim is bringing up the website. That our website may look a little different if you visited before. We just went through a rebranding and a website refresh. So we have the new logo up in the left-hand corner with the bird and the New York State background in the background. The New York State bird is the bluebird, so we took a little inspiration from that. And then the bird is to represent the ability for crime victims to thrive and soar after their crime victimization. Then we have a new color palette of the blues and the pops of green. Hopefully it's more inviting, more soothing. And we just rolled that out in the last few days, so we're still working out the kinks of that. So all the information you will find on our website was developed after needs assessment. That includes surveys, focus groups, interviews with victims of crime and service providers, which brings me to the point that we just rolled out this new branding. So we are holding focus groups actually this week and next week. So if you're a service provider and you would be willing to give us 45 minutes to an hour of your time, we would love to have you. I think Susan Dietzel would be dropping that in the chat if you want to sign up for a time slot to be part of our focus groups. So that was my first plug. So now the website. So in terms of accessibility, we have a little stick figure guy in the left-hand corner. Tim, if you want to circle that. So if you click on that, that's just accessibility features. You can make the text bigger. You can highlight links. You could hide images, all sorts of options there. And then you can also make the text bigger right on the website with the text size feature there. There's a search bar feature there. If you know what you're looking for on our website, you can query the website with keywords. The exit site button in the right-hand corner. We did add a pop-up there. So there's a little box that shows up explaining the exit site feature. And the button actually scrolls with you as you go through the website too. So it's always visible. And then at the bottom, we have our live help, the little blue icon in the corner. It does pop up after 30 seconds too. So our live help is actually staffed by human beings. So it's not a robot, it's not AI, it's staffed by interns Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. that would be happy to answer any of your questions. So you can put in your legal issue, the county you're from, and start a conversation with them. And then I think we'll go to the Advocate Gateway now.
Sure.
So what is the Advocate Gateway? So any attorney, paralegal, or advocate that is funded by OVS, which I'm assuming is our entire audience today, can be a member of the Advocate Gateway. So we created this as an opportunity to grow a community of practice around crime victimization. And if you go to the website and you click on the Advocate Gateway like Tim did, you can just click become a member and you sign up and we will either accept you within a couple of days. So we have, you just put in your email address, go through the application process. So we have an events page. You can email us events. We post events, job board. We post jobs throughout the industry. We have a listserv. Do you want to click on that, Tim? The listserv?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to sign in order to.
Oh, okay,
access
that's
that.
fine.
No. Let me. I'll sign in. Let's just make sure I can.
So our listserv, if you're a member, I think we have around 300 members. I'm not sure. I think it'll say when we log in. You can ask questions of the community if you have questions that come up, just like any other listserv. There we go.
And you'll see some icons here that may look a little strange, like this. It's only because I'm logged in as an administrator. So
Yep. Yep, so there we go. You can see that we have 348 people subscribed. You can change your settings down there on the right-hand side too. You can send a message directly from here or to the email address. I think we're really good about not spamming people as well. Yep, so that's our listserv. Like I said, we have job board, events board, and then we also share resources. So we post all of our webinars, webinar materials. If Laura and Amy do a technical assistance, they will post legal memos on there. And any member is welcome to post resources as well. Yeah, so that's the Advocate Gateway. So on the navigation bar at the top, you'll see we have a home button, the legal help directory, which Tim will get to in a few minutes. And then the first section is the Know Your Rights section. So if you click into that,
Mhm.
We have 9 buckets of information there, and these topics were specifically chosen by victims of crime and service providers as areas of crime that had the biggest need for information. Again, we're taking all of this from our focus groups and our needs assessment. So if you want to just click into one bucket, we'll just do that. So you have the basic topic, and then you have subtopics that are linked within the topic. So Tim's going to click into safety, let's say, or
Okay.
housing.
Okay.
It's okay. And it's very basic information, explaining housing, explaining homeowners assistance fund. Again, we have the tabs on the left-hand side with the subtopics, and we link out to other resources. Yep, you just keep scrolling. Again, explaining very basic information and linking out to other resources. I won't go into any other buckets because we are limited on time, but I think you get the idea. There is a lot of information here on all different topics. Our last topic we added was the LGBTQ section, and we anticipate adding more information pertaining to victims of campus sexual assault later in the year, elder abuse, and teen dating violence. So that's a Know Your Rights section. The next section is the Victim Compensation Guide. So this section has continuously been our most visited section since its launch in October of 21. So it's been live on our site for about 1.5 years, and it was accessed over 12,000 times in its first year. Considering that our site has actually only been live for 3 years, we were very proud of that fact. So our goal was that if you were a crime victim and you were eligible and you want to apply for victim compensation, we wanted to make it easy to do so. And the number one mistake people were making when filing a claim was filing the wrong type of claim or not putting in all the required information. So, whoops. I think Tim just has to bring up the site again. It's okay. So our guide provides an overview of the victim compensation application process.
Hey, 1 second. I think I lost you there for a sec. I am bringing back the guide. Are you still seeing my screen, or do I need to reshare my screen?
Nope, you should reshare.
Okay, cool. Hold on 1 sec. Let's go to Zoom.
Yep.
And
It's not a webinar without difficulties.
Oh, no.
technical
I mean,
difficulties.
these things happen and we just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So if you go to the guide,
Right, the victim compensation guide.
yep. And then the first bucket is explaining what you would need to know before filing a claim.
Yep.
And then the second bucket, if you click on that, actually links to our claim navigator. So what's the difference between the guide and the navigator? So the guide is an overview of the application process, and then the navigator determines, one, if a crime victim is eligible for victim compensation, and then what type of claim they can apply for. There's 3 different types. So someone can go through and answer a few questions, and then users will receive personalized information about their eligibility and the type of claim they can apply for at the end. So again, you just go through who you are you in NIC state? Are you an advocate? And then what types of reports you might have. Let's say you have a police report. And then at the end, you may be eligible for a personal injury claim. So this takes the guesswork out of it. And then at the end, again, it's a summary of everything you just said. And then you can link, you can go to OVS and fill out the application process, or you can email yourself or download a summary of what you just filled out. So that's the guide and the navigator.
Let's go back to,
Okay.
hold on 1 sec. So this 1 second here, there we go. Let's go back to,
Yep, 1 tab over.
yeah, let's go back there. And let's go to crime. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Yep.
So that was the navigator and the guide. The guide is available in human translation of 5 different languages. Yes, that's the guide and the navigator. And our team would be happy to answer any questions if you have questions that come up about compensation as well. So, yep, there we go. So it's available in Spanish, Chinese, different languages. Yep.
Yeah, Burmese, Bengali, and Arabic.
Yep.
Yep.
So I will let Tim talk about the legal help directory.
Okay, well, thank you, Jackie. Let's hope I don't lose. We did this because of maybe not so good internet on one side, and then I realized that I dropped from you for a split second there. So let's hope this goes through rather smoothly. Jackie, this is great. So when someone comes to this website, New York Crime Victims Legal Help, they're looking for a few things, right? One is, of course, information about what they're going through, the issues that they're facing related to being a victim of a crime. And the other is like, whoa, there is something called compensation for the issues that I'm experiencing. And hey, let's go through this and see if I'm eligible for it. And the third reason is, or the third pathway for a victim coming to the site is, hey, you know what? I actually need to find a lawyer. So let me see if there is a lawyer related to a legal aid organization, affordable free legal help available in my area around my issue. And this is all stemming from being a victim of a crime. And the directory, the legal help directory, is structured so that you need to put in your location, and then you need to put in your issue. So we'll go real easy here, and we'll choose Albany, the first one. And then I'll scroll down here, so it's just so that you can see. These are the topics, right? Victims' rights, family law. These are the know your right topics. Within these topics are broken down. Remember those tabs in the know your rights section by child support, custody, and such, right? Safety, housing, and on. So let's go into custody, right? So here I am. I'm in Albany, and I have an issue that's arisen from being a victim of a crime related to custody of my child. And so those are the two boxes that you fill out. When you do that, several things happen on this directory search results page. There's a lot of stuff going on here, as you can see, right? One is the listing of organizations related to your search in that location and for your issue, and then a map showing where those organizations are located. And then if you wanted to go back to the Know Your Rights section related to the search that you just put in, which was custody, you can just click on this or forms. We're not going to go into forms on this call. It's something that we're looking at and we want to develop in this whole sort of self-help mold. But yeah, you don't have to go back to Know Your Rights and then look for custody. You can just click on this and you will go back to custody. So let's look at what we're seeing here on the screen for the results for organizations that you just entered. Up here, you see the results are divided by top results right over here, and then by similar results over here. As you can see, the similar results are not as detailed as the top results. So what are the top results? In the top results, you can see how to call. You can call directly from your phone, directly from your computer. There's something called a direct email. There is, you can link out right to the website. This top results are for organizations that are specifically funded by OVS to handle issues, legal issues related to being victims of a crime. And as you can imagine, different organizations handle different issues in different locations. So here we see the Legal Project with Equinox, and they are one of the funded organizations for this project. As a result, they get listed first, along with other organizations within that search parameter. And just so that as a user, when I see these results, I'm not confused about what top results mean. Here, we identify this as a partner organization. This is going to go through some user testing. I know Susan's going to do engage a lot of you on some of the user testing, on the language that we're using, on the buttons that we have, on the prompts that we have. So for here, we have, if someone just sort of just toggles over or hovers, this window appears. Right? It says that this organization receives New York State Office of Victim Services funding. On the direct service, direct email link, you have, hey, use this to contact a legal provider. So the difference with direct email for OVS funded orgs and over here for the other orgs, and I'll tell you in a little bit what these other orgs are, is that as an OVS funded org, the org is required to provide an email address for victims who access this directory and this org profile to click on this. Someone clicks on this and then enter their name, enter their phone, enter their email, and then submit. And once a user submits this, it goes into an email address designated by the org to handle these inquiries. The thinking is, or the expectation is, that the org will respond in short order, right? These other orgs are organizations that are in the database, legal aid organizations across New York State that handle issues related to being victims of crime, but are not specifically funded by OVS for that. They're funded by other grantors. So this pulls information from a Law Help New York database. Law Help New York is a statewide website in New York that covers all of the issues that folks would face, including crime victims, and then we point them to this website. So in order, and let me click through really quickly before I talk a little bit about what we will need from you over the next few weeks. This is the full listing of the org. So when you can click through to see additional information, some orgs have who are we? It keeps on going. Additional information. These are the topics we cover. These are the issues that we cover. When someone contacts the org, they may have some filtering elements. They may mention that on this org profile. What we need from you is to do a search on Legal Help Directory around the location and the issue that you handle related to crime victims and that you're specifically funded by OVS for. And just take a look at your profile once that comes up, and then email us or actually contact us. There's a contact form at the bottom of this. If you could just fill this out and let us know how your information, your email, your phone number, and then someone from Law Help New York will get in touch with you to update the database that Crime Victims Legal Help pulls from. What we're working on right now is a much more streamlined process. So we would just provide you with a link, a pop-up opens, and your profile appears, and then you could check if all of the information on that profile is correct. And you would only have to correct the information that's incorrect. You don't have to go and fill out an entirely new form. Do I have a form up with the final couple of minutes that I have for my section? Let me make sure that my time, yeah, I just got 2 more minutes. Wow. So this is a form that we're refining. This is a Google form that we'll send to you, where where there are a bunch of questions, right? So and some things you'll just have to click on, some things you'll just have, you'll also, again, like I said, we're refining this, we're simplifying it. And then in some of these boxes will have like a text field, right, where you will provide additional information. We're not sending this to you right now. For now, what we are asking is that you perform a legal directory search for issues related to your org. If it doesn't pop up, then you can also contact us and say, look, this is what I did. I don't see my org appearing, or I did, and the information needs updating on my organizational profile. Just go ahead and email us, and we'll contact you for updating that org. Remla, Susan, is there anything else around the legal directory or orgs that you think I should mention, or does that pretty much cover it?
I think you're good, Tim.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Now, I think Susan, I'm going to pass the baton to you. Do you want to share your screen, or
yes,
how do you want to do this? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see. I'll share, stop share.
apologies if anyone hears background noise. There are workers above my head in my office, so I'm just waiting for the ceiling to come down or something. So apologies if I make a strange face or if you hear some strange noises. That's what it's due to. You all can see this, yes? Tim, I can see you, and Blake, so you guys cannot. Okay, awesome.
Yep.
So for exactly what Tim just talked about, for those of you that are part of this legal help directory as a funded provider through OVS, what we are looking from you is to get a sense of who you're serving, how many people are contacting you through the Crime Victims Legal Help. Because we really, it's hard for us to know. We have some analytics that we know who's visiting or how many people are visiting our website, what pages they're seeing, and so forth, but we don't actually know if people are using the legal help directory in particular to connect with services, to connect with an attorney. And we really rely on you for that. We can see if people clicked on an organization, we can see if they looked, but we don't know if a contact was actually made. And that's really good information for us to know and for OVS to know as well. So what we are asking from all of those who are referral partners and listed on the site as such is to, on a quarterly basis, just provide us some basic information. And we will be sending this out to you at some point once we get all of the information set from everybody. But I just wanted to give you a picture of what we're asking. So when we say survey, we don't mean a 50-question monstrosity that's going to take you 20 minutes to complete. We mean a handful of questions that will take you at most a few minutes on a quarterly basis. So what you would receive, and we'll call it a survey, it's really just kind of a feedback questionnaire essentially, so you can give us some basic numbers, is first we'll be asking you just the name of your organization so that we know who we're getting the information from. And then we will be asking how many referrals your organization received from that email address, as Tim pointed out, the email address that is directly linked in the legal help directory. I didn't want to put in a specific time from here and confuse anyone, but we'll be doing this on a quarterly basis. So how many referrals did your organization receive between January 1st and the end of March 2023 from the email address listed? And then how many additional referrals did your organization receive from that same quarter timeframe from the Crime Victims Legal Help? As Tim and I think Jackie also noted, you may receive referrals via the phone. You may have someone kind of walk in and say, hey, I saw you listed on the Crime Victims Legal Network. This is where I found you. Can you let us know that? Or through a different email address, if they would contact you directly and you ask, how did you come to find us? How do you know about us? I'm just going to continue without answering. Please don't ever do that. We want your information, but I don't want to make up information and confuse people. And then what we'll be asking you is of all the referrals that you received, whether it was from that direct email, whether someone called you, walked in, et cetera, but they found out about you from the Crime Victims Legal Network and from our site, please let us know how many of those referrals your organization actually served. So how many people did you actually serve in the following ways? So here we'll be looking for you to check any or all of these and give us a number in this box, whatever that number may mean. So, presumably this number will get a little bit smaller as as you, fill out all of this information. But we're just looking to understand, so did you screen people that came in, and of those people that you screened, did you refer them? Did you provide advice and assistance? And maybe, there'll be some variation here. But if there's not an answer, if you didn't do anything, please give us a 0, and that's perfectly fine. It's still valuable information to know, well, actually, people contacted us, but no, we didn't end up providing any advice and assistance to anyone. And that's fine. We're not looking for, oh my gosh, that's all you did here. We're just looking to understand how many people ultimately were given some type of assistance. There's not a right or wrong answer. We're just looking to get some data from you is really what it comes down to. And that's it. So then it's just a very handful of questions that we'll be asking you to do 4 times a year. We will prompt you to do this. You don't necessarily need to remember. That's of course bonus. The information ultimately comes to me, and then I'll just be providing it in an aggregate form. And that will help us to know, okay, where are people, what organizations are people going to, how many are hearing about us. That also will help us with marketing as well, the site, and will just help us to know how many actual contacts there have been to legal services beyond what we're seeing on our website. Remla, did you want to add anything?
No, I don't, but there's some questions in the Q&A that I'll answer while I'm doing this part of it. Susan, if you're all done.
Okay, yep, I am all set. I'll stop sharing. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to also email me directly. That's my email right here. We can always drop it in the chat as well. And anyone on the team that you should email, you'll get in touch with me as well.
Yeah. So a couple of things in terms of someone asked, would these surveys be in addition to the reporting that we're already doing? I'll be honest with you, very few of you are actually doing the reporting. If you're already doing the reporting and sending that information to Susan, it's basically the same thing. Instead, you're going to be doing the survey as opposed to sending the individual email to Susan. I'm just going to talk about the key takeaways for this, or what we really like you to do. So I think I'm going to answer some of those questions that are in the Q&A right now. So the first thing
I just want to interrupt one thing, because I just want to clarify for the person who answered that question. Any reporting that you're doing to OVS about who people you are serving in any ways, this is entirely separate from that. I just want to be clear on that. So whatever reporting requirements you have as part of the grant that you have with OVS, this is in addition to. So I just want to be clear that this is different from that.
Thanks, Susan. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the PMT. So the first thing we'd like you all to do is please take that survey that Blake mentioned. That survey, Blake talked about it in terms of evaluation. There's more than just an evaluation. There's other questions involved. So it's whether or not you're funded to provide attorney services. And if you are, what are the emails of the attorneys who are providing those services? It is important for us to get that information, because if you are not attending our attorney forums, or if you do not know about our webinars, this is a way that you could get invitations to attend those forums. The other thing we would like you to do is, if you are providing legal services through your OVS grant, as Tim spent time talking about, check the website to make sure that information is correct. If your organization is listed correctly, we absolutely want you to confirm whether or not your organization's contact information is correct and your organization description is correct. But we really, really, really need you to check to make sure that you're appearing as a top result in only the counties and issue areas that you agree to provide services for through your OVS grant. Like as Tim said, your organization might be providing services, for example, in 3 counties, Erie, Niagara, Genesee County, on a variety of issues: immigration, divorce, orders of protection, landlord-tenant. But through your OVS grant, if you're only contracted to provide services with your OVS funded attorney for Genesee County for divorce, that's the only time you're going to show up as a top result. We need you to verify that. We need you to make sure that that information is correct. We also need you to verify if the pop-up emails, those direct emails, if it's going to the right person, and if that phone number is going to the right person on your legal team. If you've noticed that those pop-up emails, we're telling people you could contact an OVS funded a team, and they will respond to you within 2 business days. We want to make sure that it's not just going into the air and no one's receiving that information. The other thing we're asking you to do, if you need to update change, or add new information in the legal help directory, please use the contact us form to reach out to let pro bono know, and they'll follow up with you. And the contact us form is on the website. It's on the bottom, it's in the bottom footer. And please use that, and then pro bono net will follow up with you. The other thing, Susan just talked about it, please look out for and respond to the quarterly emails that Susan will be sending out about referral numbers. I get asked questions a lot from Elizabeth Cronin saying, is this working? We've developed it so that crime victims get connected to legal resources. Is that happening? By you providing that information, I'm able to answer her and say, yeah, it's working. And the last two things, please join the Advocate Gateway. And please sign up for and to receive communications. If you fill out that survey that Blake talked about, Jackie will be able to add you to our mailing list so that you can get our bi-monthly newsletters and our broadcast emails. I'm going to turn this over to Blake now, or Blake or OVS. I'm not sure who's going to end.
There we go. I'm happy to handle it. Well, thank you. That was awesome. I'm going to put a ton of information in the chat box real quick, a lot of links and everything, including the evaluation link as well. I just want to thank Rimla, Tim, Jackie, Susan. This is wonderful. This is a tremendous resource for us to be able to share. I love that we've recorded this as well. So stay tuned. It usually takes about 2 days or so to get it downloaded and then re-uploaded to our YouTube channel. So stay tuned. So for follow-up information, but please, please, please take advantage of the resources that we've shared today and continue the questions. We'll leave the chat and Q&A open for a little bit longer. Rimla, Tim, Susan, if that's okay with you, and we'll stick around. So here come the resources for you. And I believe you should also get a link to the evaluation post webinar as well. So stay tuned for some of that. I'll do the evaluation link first for everyone. There we go. Please share, fill that out and share feedback with us. That's wonderful. Okay. So,
Are you seeing another question? Okay, I just want to make sure. I think you're the person to answer. I just want to make sure you saw.
yes, the link to the webinar will be sent to everyone who attended today, as well as all the links that we shared in the chat. So please take advantage of this. Stay tuned, and yeah, stick around if you want to ask more questions. We'll be on here for a few more minutes. If not, we understand you have a busy day to get to. So thank you for your time and joining us today.
Also, if anyone would like us to present to community groups or coalitions, or just, your agency in particular, please just give a quick contact any one of us. Rimla's probably your best bet, but really anyone. And we're happy to do a quick webinar. Can be, half an hour or less, just a quick run through of what our organization is and what this website can do. So please don't hesitate to reach out. We can fill as little or as much time as you would like us to for that information. And that I would say that broadly as well. It's important. We've been thinking about the network and how to market it to individuals who may also not already be connected to or aware of victim services. So when I say networks, coalitions, et cetera, please think broadly about human services providers who may be in contact with people that they may or may not know are victims of crime, so that they can be aware of the site should someone, happen to mention in the course of a conversation that they were a victim, they were recently robbed or whatever the case may be, then that provider can say, oh, I may not know a whole lot about this, but I do know this site, and we have palm cards, et cetera, that we are happy to get to you as well. So please think broadly about who you'd like us to present to. We're happy to do that.
If the information is already correct on the directory, should someone continue to fill out the form? And I think just let us know that everything is correct. would be the advice.
Yeah, actually, that would be helpful. Thanks for that, Jackie, and thanks for that question. Because if we don't hear from someone, we will reach out to ask if the information is correct. So if you can preempt that and say, yeah, everything looks good, that helps us to say last reviewed on, so we know that information is correct and we don't have to update it.
Thanks for clarifying that. I just told the person they didn't have to. So thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
All right, well, everyone, thank you. I'm gonna stop recording for us, but we will stick around for a couple more minutes if in case you want to jump in on any last questions. I just want to thank everyone again for your time. Appreciate you joining us.